Friends, welcome to part 3 of our video tutorial on assignment 9. In this part of the video tutorial, we'll still concentrate on the data and methodology step under the scientific method, and the whole scientific method, the whole scientific paradigm is outlined here. But this time we'll use a different approach, or should I say different technology, for analyzing data that we have about concussions. In order to test some of the relationships between different factors at the player and team and game level, we will use Microsoft Excel. More specifically, we will use the so-called pivot tables to do the analysis. Now, I would like to explain it here that pivot tables, they're very similar to OLAP analysis. This is something that we talked about in our previous lectures. Now, OLAP analysis means drilling on data by breaking it down into several categories, several dimensions, and then looking at each of those dimensions to see whether you have any kind of pattern. So that's exactly what you do with pivot tables. Now, to pivot means like to rotate, to twist something, right? So you pivot or rotate data around certain factors or certain variables, and that helps you to see some of the underlying relationships. So, for example, let's say if you want to test the following hypotheses that concussions, well, actually it's not concussions here, one second. If you want to test a hypothesis that position type, player position type, is somehow related to concussions, right? What you can do, you can create a table where in let's say columns you will have position types. So let's say position 1, position 2, position 3, and position 4, right? So basically, let's say 1 represents, I don't know, wide receiver, 2 represents quarterback, 3 represents center, and so forth, just like any 4 positions. And here you put in rows, so in columns you have positions, and in rows, in this first row, you have number of concussions, or frequency of concussions. So for example, let's say you have 2 concussions, 3, then 50, and then 3, something like that. So by looking at this table, you see that there seems to be some kind of relationship between position of a player and number of concussions. Because you see, like the highest frequency of concussions happens at position 3. So let's say position 3 is a wide receiver. So that table, this table, kind of tells you that position may have an influence on the likelihood of a player receiving a concussion. So that's the this is like a two-dimensional OLAP analysis, not a cube, but like a two-dimensional square, I guess. And this also looks like a table, and that's what exactly you're doing with pivot tables. But just like with OLAP analysis, in pivot tables you can add additional dimensions, right? So for example, you can add an additional row. So here, let's say we have player position, and here we have field type. So this is field type 1, let's say this is grass, and this is field type 2, which is turf, right? And here we have different numbers for the same player position. Let's say we have 13, 20, 61, and 8. So in that case, you can tell that position, the type of field also has to do something with concussions. So you can conceptualize as this. Field type has a moderating effect. So moderating effect means like it's an amplifying or de-amplifying effect on the relationship between position type and concussions. So what you're saying here, it looks like turf or field type in general seems to magnify or increase the likelihood of concussions or injuries, because on grass the wide receiver has 50 injuries, on turf 61, and all other types of positions also get an increased number of injuries. So this is like a three-dimensional table now. So OLAP is typically done with a three-dimensional cube. So here we also have three-dimensional cube in a way, but we implement it with the help of a table. So this is the essence of pivot analysis, again from that I guess scientific point of view. You're trying to test the relationship between 2 or more variables by creating a table, by creating a pivot table. Now, To start analyzing your Access data using a pivot table, you need to either export it from Access into Excel, or you can import it from using Excel. You can import it from Access. Probably the easiest way to do it would be to open an Excel sheet and try to import your data into the Excel sheet that you have. So for that, you need to go to Data, and then you select that you want to get external data from Access. Okay, and then you need to find that Microsoft Access file that contains your data. So I'll do it here on my computer. So this is the file. So I select this file, and then when you select your database file, it asks you what exactly you want to import. I mean, you can import all of your tables and all of your queries by enabling this multiple item selection feature. But in our case, we only need yearly summary query. Now, that query was explained in my previous presentation. I showed you how to create a query that basically pulls together data for all the injuries. But there's nothing complicated about the data. It's just basically a summary of all injuries and related data, all concussions and all the related data for concussions. So I select this query. No, not yearly, summary data, not yearly summary. So we need summary data query. And I press OK. I want to put it here in the corner. So you want to select it as a table. I'll put it into, let's say, new worksheet. And that's it. So I press it like this, and here we have our data. So this is our table. That is the same as the output of that summary data query. Now what I will do first, I will name this table. It will save a little bit of time. It will make things a bit clearer. So you see, like here you have an option for naming your field. So I will name this table concussions. Okay. And later on, when I start creating actual pivot tables, I will start naming them. I'll start using this name of the table. So that's all I wanted to show you in this part of the video presentation. I wanted to explain where we're coming from methodologically, and also I wanted to show you how to import data from that summary data access query into Excel. So thank you for listening.